Right, welcome back, viewers, to a late edition of Heads Up. We've had a couple of late scratchings, Goat, the last couple of weeks because of various things like COVID and tsunami warnings, earthquakes, etc. So it's good to get back into it, and we've come back on a good day, haven't we, with excellent racing tomorrow.
Absolutely, Neil. Yes, good morning to you and to all the viewers. Should be a great day at Ellerslie for Auckland Cup Day. Hopefully been run under level 1 conditions and a good crowd gets along to watch the racing there tomorrow.
Here's hoping. No, we've got a dead 5 track tomorrow, but before we touch on that, last Sunday, wasn't it? And under level 2, they raced the Derby at Ellerslie, which was good to see, rather than Hastings, the other way around, different track. And you're going to give it to Scotty and Lance O'Sullivan. They tailored that race a long, long way out, like a few other trainers, obviously, too, but they pulled it off, unlike Dragon Leap the previous year. And good to see the emotion from Scotty as well, too, wasn't it?
Absolutely. You'd have to say, though, Neil, the ride won the race, I would have thought. Just luck's a fortune, as they say, and Craig decided to stick to sort of more of the inside passage rather than circling them out wide like a couple of the others did. And he got the perfect run between horses and held on to the line. And yeah, I don't know, would have he won if he went wide around them? Maybe not. We'll never know.
I think Norfolk was a really good chance. He hit the front really early, and a certain punter was hoping for frontman to come up at 71s, I hear too. So
yeah, that's the way it goes.
He must have been cheering hard halfway down the straight.
I did get a little bit excited, I have to say. I was down at the cricket in Wellington and watching from there, and yeah, she gave a sight, Danielle, for us on frontman. Milford's still pretty green, according to Leith, but no, Craig Grill's one of the good guys in the jockey ranks, and pleased to see him get his second derby in only 3 years. So well done to him after Crown Prosecutor won a couple of years ago. So yeah, it was good racing. The Tiakau dominance continued in the undercard with Amaralina on Trivier. Need I say more? Pres de Feur, and one other that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that was good. I had, just before we go into that, I had a few queries, or maybe 3 or 4 emails and texts about Montre Noir in the Derby. He looked to be going well across the top, and I thought he's coming into it nicely here. Then got skittled somewhere there, and I couldn't quite see what was going on, but I thought she would have come wider, Lisa Allpress, but she would have had her reasons why she did what she did. So
yeah,
I had to be unlucky. Yeah.
When you're following Opie Bosson on a Tiakau horse in a Group 1 race, you probably think you're in the right place, and Lisa thought she was in the right place, but just the way things transpired, it turned out to be not the right place. And unfortunately, you don't get to run the Derby over again the following week and redeem yourself. But hey, we all know Lisa's a very classy jockey, but the rub of the green didn't go her way on Sunday, but that's racing, as they say. Montre Noir probably going to be sold now to Hong Kong, I hear. So yep, that is how it goes.
Yeah.
So
he's a good horse. He would have been good in Australia too, but obviously when the big bucks come along, you've got to take them, don't you, in this environment? So.
Yeah, frontman I think is going to head over to the AJ or ATC Derby, so that'll be good to see how he goes over there. Very lightly raced horse. Probably in hindsight, that one race that he missed at Matamata when it got called off, that meeting could have been the difference. Just put him back a race in his preparation. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah. And I think the only people cheering for Amaralina to get beaten on Sunday were the bookies, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah.
With everyone's multis going on here. So.
Got absolutely smashed, didn't it, into about $1.35. And gee, you earned your money though. Only the last stride was where she got the her head in front for the first time in the race. Needle and thread. Craig Grylls again, very gallant in defeat. So she'll head to the Oaks as $1.70 favourite next week. Neil, leave me out of that. I think that's too short.
It is too short. You know, she's got a good chance, and she will likely improve. But gee, Needle and thread, the way she just put her head down with a good wet track action. So if it didn't rain. I look at the forecast last week for next week and looked okay. Well, a few showers there, but if it gets to slow, Needle and thread, and that Carolina Reaper, I think it's called, flashed home. Great sectional.
Graham Richardson's horse, Yep. So no, that's all to look forward to next week.
Yeah.
But we should probably focus on
Yeah.
things closer at hand. Tomorrow, there's 3 Group 1 races at Ellerslie. We'll start with, what race do you want to start with?
Oh, the Cup. The Cup's always one of the
Cup.
favourites of mine, obviously. So
2 miles. 2 miles Cup. Let's get the right
not a
name.
stellar field, is it? It's a good even field.
Yeah,
And sort of
definitely.
stands out.
Disappointing, I have to say. Hurricane, probably the run of the race in the Avondale
Yeah.
Cup, but yeah, just didn't pull up well. Heard a
Is that what it
leg.
was?
And, yeah, so he was withdrawn pretty quickly after the Avondale Cup, but he would have been my pick in the Auckland Cup if he was sound, but not to be. So we look at Sound, excuse the pun, Sound, the horse that ran second last year,
Yeah.
350. You were quite keen on him in the Avondale Cup, and I said no, the weight will stop him. He obviously comes into this race a lot better off at the weights compared to a lot of his opposition. Platinum Invader, we know, is a very good stayer.
Yeah.
Ocean Billy, a horse on the up. Starzar, of course, placed in the Avondale Cup, wasn't he? And Robusto winning the Avondale Cup. So there's a few chances there.
Right.
Have I found the one that you like in that mix?
Yes, you did mention him. I did like Sound initially, but the wide draw put me off. But you know, he's obviously going to be right at his peak for this because he did blow out, according to the rider last start, in the Avondale Cup late. But I like Ocean Billy. You know, when he won at Te Rapa, won the Waikato Cup, beating Sauvignon Blanc, who then went on to win the City of Auckland Cup. And the time of 2:26 and change was an excellent time, and he did it. He had the toughest run on the race, so I have no doubt you'll see the 2 miles out. And he ran a good race after an injury after that race, apparently. And I think he's a good, tough horse, drawn nicely. He's going to be near the pace, and I think at $10 and 330, he's the best each way value, I thought. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Well, I was going to jump back into the bandwagon of Sound, actually. Second in the race last year.
Right.
Well weighted, good run. Trained on well, I believe. So,
yeah,
I'll be going with Sound, I think.
Yeah, I think two good bets. What I like for a roughie is Daytona Red. His sectionals have been really good. The way he came home with a nice grinding finish last Saturday will top him off nicely. He'll be rock hard fit. We got Rod to that. Charles Rhodes, another roughie. Platinum Invader last year, to look at the race last year, I thought he had his chance and just Sound outstayed him. So it'll come down to getting that ideal run, won't it? But good races earlier on.
Yeah, obviously the 2-year-old race, well documented, lacking in numbers, but you wouldn't say lacking in quality.
No.
With Sort of State, On the Bubbles, and Bonnie Lass all taking their runs in the race. You'd think Sort of State looks a good thing from the draw.
Yeah, no, I do. I think I was the Matter. Of the two, Sort of State and On the Bubbles, he looked a tad more forward than On the Bubbles. He just jumped, led, and won as he liked. But the time and sectionals were just outstanding compared to the older horses and to Bonnie Lass's. So I think I'm pretty sure he's got Bonnie Lass covered. Pedro won't like to hear that, but she's drawn one, hasn't she? I think she'll lead out, wouldn't she, Bonnie Lass?
Possibly, yeah. Well, she's always raced on the speed
to
date, but
Sort of State will sit on a hammer. And I think Sort of State's an even better horse chasing. So $1.75 will shorten up on the day. And On the Bubbles, we mentioned that Karaka Millions won the time and the field are just average, and I think it showed a matter there with Sort of State just being a class above them. So.
The two stablemates obviously clash in the Bone Crusher, and they dominate the market. Melody Bell, $2.90 into $2.50. Avantage, $2 out to $2.10.
Yeah.
I think most people going, oh, well, Opie would have had the choice. He's on Avantage, but that might not have been the case. Hence why the money's coming for Melody Bell. I think Jamie Richards' trainer suggested that Melody Bell was the better chance of the two at the 2,000 metre trip.
You'd have to agree, I reckon, because Melody Bell beat Avantage, granted early in the season in the Livermore, by I think 3 lengths. So that's a clear advantage she's got over advantage going into this on paper. And Melody Bob didn't get all favours at Tirapa, just things didn't go right. So I think I can see where the money's coming for her. What do you reckon?
Oh, I don't like to go against Jamie, but man, Avantage, she's a beast of a horse. She's very impressive. I'd say if she was a human, you'd put her, she's built like Val Adams, you know, just big, solid, muscular horse. I'm on the Avantage camp, I have to say.
Well, they're going to get the right run, isn't she? She'll be out. And she won the.
She won this race last year.
Yeah, but it was only a set sprint though, wasn't it? Which she had to win, knowing what she's done since then, sprint races. So
where's the real pace? Tiptronic.
Yeah, go forward. Bowden has to go forward on the rocks, possibly. Paisley
but I don't know if they'll go hard though. I don't think.
No, you can't see it, can you? So you can see, like Raw Performers are drawn out. If he goes back, he can't win. I can't see him winning, so he may go forward. So it's going to be an interesting race. Yeah.
Yep. No, look forward to that one as well. So. No,
Right.
the weather's playing its part here in Auckland, and the track should be nigh on perfect for Cup Day. And as I said earlier, let's hope we can all get on course under level 1 conditions.
Yeah. Now, you got the league started last night. Melbourne beat South. You had an interesting stat you mentioned earlier on to me about that game.
Yeah, Melbourne have not lost a round 1 game since 2004. Craig Bellamy, their coach, just loves to have them working hard in that off season to be to be at pretty close to concert pitch by round 1, and where other teams you kind of get the sense they're working into it still. So they did the business again last night, so that was pleasing. It should be a good season though. I think the league's kind of, with Super Rugby, it's kind of a bit of a bit piece competition in that 5 teams, and it's all over pretty quickly, whereas the league is going to go for 6 or 7 months, and should be a good watch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a few more of the league games, but we're not going to tip any league in round 1. That was probably the best bet, but we'll go back to the rugby. I can't see the Blues losing to the Highlanders. They're a pretty good side, the Blues.
Yeah.
Certainly a good forward pack, and you'd have to say the Highlanders were struggling against the Chiefs last week, and then just an intercept try and a bit of what's her name? Jonah Nariki magic saw the Highlanders get over the top of the Chiefs. I don't think the Blues will be falling for any of that. Their dominance will be seen right throughout the 80 minutes, and they will be covering the 7.5 point start on a beautiful sunny Auckland Sunday afternoon. So we're going to suggest 3 units on that from our 100 unit bank. 3 units on the Blues, minus 7.5 at $1.87.
Right, done. Looking forward to that game. Worries this year? Is this the year? Probably not, but quite a strong team this year. But
hold on. You must have spoken to the Warriors' biggest fan. What's your brother saying?
He's actually going south. He's a big fan of the South, but they got beaten last night.
Oh, he says jumping ship.
Jump ship, yeah. No, turncoat, isn't it? One day I'll see the light. Like myself, I suppose we'll see the light one day. But just good fun following them and seeing how they're getting on. I see the fullback.
Tuivasa Sheck.
The last season, going to try it for the All Blacks next year.
Yeah.
You got a contract with the Blues?
Yep. He's signed with the Blues, so
great athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Be interesting to see. Obviously, taking over the mantle from Sonny Bill, who retired during the week, so he's finished with all rugby and league now. So
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, kind of did it his way. Pretty quiet sort of exit stage left for Sonny Bill, but I don't think we'll see a sportsman as versatile and as successful as Sonny Bill Williams in a very long time.
Yeah, no, he's brilliant. Yeah. Okay, now the question 3 weeks ago was, which horse did Noel Eels train to win the Avondale Cup?
That's right. Back in 2001, I think it was, led all the way. Robbie the Pope Hannum did the steering on that occasion. The answer was Green Street.
Yes, and one subscriber said he was there that day when he won.
Yeah, I was there that day. I remember being down in a little corporate area down the front there, and it was a long trip home, I remember.
Are you on Green Street, really?
No, I don't think I was on him. I think he paid about 18 or 20 bucks from memory, but no, it was back when the Avondale Cup was a Wednesday. It was a nice sunny day in probably the first week of December. But yeah, good crowd on course back then, but times have changed a bit. But no, how many people got that one right, Neil?
8. So it gives a number between, like a dog race. Which boxes are going to jump out?
They're going to jump out of the stripes.
Right, well, Steve will be happy. Okay, we'll post your bet. I'll chuck on the Blues bet because I think the Blues are a good thing too on Sunday. We'll talk about that. So, okay, and I'll pick out something. Maybe I reckon there's a certain multi tomorrow. So I'll take those two horses with that.
I like your confidence.
Both get been wrong before.
Let's do an Auckland Cup question.
Yep. Oh yeah. Okay.
We talked about Sound running second last year and maybe winning this year. There's a horse that is, we're talking in the last 20 years, so it's not a tricky question, but name the horse in the last 20 years that ran second in an Auckland Cup and then won the Auckland Cup 3 years later. Okay. If you know that horse's name, text or email your answer through to Neil by Monday night.
Monday, well, make it Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
027 352 6402 or formpro at formpro.co.nz, and you'll go in the draw for the multi for next week. Rightio. Brickbacks and bouquets. You've got something in mind, haven't you?
I just saw a horse. I'm probably not really a brickbat or a bouquet, but a horse at the Ruakaka Trials on Tuesday in heat number 2 that looked like it's got a bit of upside. A Sham Express gelding out of Row of Diamonds, trained by Kenny Ray. If you want to see an impressive trialist, go and have a look at the video of the second heat of the Ruakaka Trials on Tuesday. You might do some sectional analysis for us later on, Neil, on that one.
Yeah, well, the last 200 metres, you've got to watch this horse. When the early 2-year-old races, I won't be starting this season, will it? So, well, I might do. We'll see. Here we go. So, if it's a shorter distance, you can colour the clappers. Very quick action. So, it's an interesting one to analyse. But yeah, and I think I mentioned this before. The going stick. The going stick is something the track managers put on the ground and shear back to simulate a galloping movement of a horse. The readings go up. They do them in a big way in Melbourne, in Sydney now, and they give a good map of where any bias could possibly be on the track. Hastings has been doing it, and there have been other tracks doing it, but I can't find the readings. So if I do find them, I'll publish them. But it'd be good if they could just tweet them out or something, or make them obvious for punters, because it's really good information to have. So I'll make it my thing now to check every track that has them and do a link so you can see. Now, obviously, they won't be true all the time or correct all the time, but it's just good information to see how they work out. So if you get like Ellerslie, if you saw the inside was slightly slower than the outside and the rain came or something, you could tell that inside draws may not work later in the day. It just gives you information to base your bets. So.
Fair call.
And we've got a horse, really interesting horse that walked down memory lane this time. Was something I was thinking of, a horse I was thinking about before you even mentioned it. So it's good to see. So give us a few clues about what the listeners' horse could be.
All right. This horse, in its first 6 starts, 4 of those were at Gisborne.
Okay.
In its first 34 starts, 8 in total of those races were at Gisborne and 5 were at Wairoa, none at Ellerslie. Okay. And yet this horse is most remembered for an Ellerslie victory. had 100 starts in total, 11 wins in its career. And like Sound, and like I said, another horse that you're trying to identify from the multi-comp question, this horse ran second in an Auckland Cup and 2 years later won an Auckland Cup, but also in between times ran 16th in an Auckland Cup, and then after winning the Auckland Cup ran 13th and 11th. So it had 5 cracks at the Auckland Cup in 5 consecutive years. Do you reckon that's enough clues?
I'm picking a few listening now will know what it is. The jockey was Jock Cadogan, correct?
The jockey was Jock Cadogan, correct?
Yeah.
And the trainer was Harold Ryan, and the horse was Kotari Chief.
Get all the way. He was out by, Jesus, would have been at least a dozen lengths, 15 lengths down the back straight, wasn't it?
Probably even 20, yeah.
Yeah.
I think can you post a YouTube link to that Auckland Cup win in 1986, I think it
Yep.
was?
I'll put it down.
Well, 87, actually, it might have been.
87, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was actually there, but I must have been dreaming because in 87 I was in Christchurch. So
Okay.
no, it was amazing, wasn't it? Because we thought, oh, he's going to stop. But just keep going. So all that groundwork he did at Gisborne and Wairua was paid off, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that was I think most people remember that race. Just got out to the old riding instructions, Neil, straight to the front, increase the lead and sprint home.
Yep.
And Jock Cadogan really rode the race of his life, and Kotari Chief will run the race of his life to win that Auckland Cup back in 1987. Yeah, just a real evergreen stayer. 5 Auckland Cups in a row, 100 starts, 11 wins, only $316,000 in stake money.
Okay.
But I guess that would have bought you quite a bit more than what 316,000 buys you today.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's interesting. That's a front running horse like that just gets the crowd going. And remember a horse called Jan's Bow and a few other front running horses. Just everyone's thinking, can it hang on?
Yeah, I reckon if you ask anyone of that age, name one winning horse from the Auckland Cup in the 80s, I reckon the most popular answer will be Kotari Chief.
Yeah.
And yet,
Definitely.
I think he paid $20 odd, maybe closer to $30 that day. So he wasn't a hot favourite. He wasn't a great horse. But just that, as you say, the way he did it captured the imagination of a lot of people.
Yeah. Never know. We might see one again tomorrow. You never know. It's an even sort of field.
I don't think he was renowned as a leader too.
He wasn't. I remember it was a big surprise he did lead like he did. So
one other stat from that race, actually, that I forgot to mention. So the Auckland Cup was run, obviously, New Year's Day back then. He ran on Boxing Day and he ran on the 29th of December. So that was his 3rd start in 6 days.
Incredible.
And yet he went out and did that. So, yeah, some things that we probably won't see again, horses having 3 starts in 6 days leading into a big race like that. But
I'll put up the link to it too. And from memory, I think the rail was out, like a cutout rail.
The false rail.
Yeah.
Yep. Ellerslie always have the false rail, and he came around the bend probably 15 lengths in front, and then he ducked down to the rail. And
that's right. Yeah.
I think he won. I think his official winning margin from memory was about 7 lengths. So I think Keith Ibe said they'll never catch him.
Amazing. No, good old days. Great to see. I know next week we've got Tauranga races and also the Oaks coming up. Forward to that.
You'll be at Tauranga. I'll be at the Oaks. Looking forward to it. Hopefully the weather plays its part, but if it doesn't, you might get a bit of value in that futures market. Yeah, true, right. So keep an eye on the weather forecast, and subscribers keep an eye out by Tuesday night, because if the forecast does look wet, there's 2 or 3 there that are worth backing at good odds. So keep an eye out there. Oh, anyway, so good luck. And you're going out tomorrow, are you? Under level 1, are you? Yeah, under level 1. I'll probably be able to sneak out there under level 2 as a guest of the major sponsor. So I think they've got contingency to still have a function there, meeting all the level 2 requirements. But I'd say it's $1 and shortening that it'll be announced at 11:30 today that Auckland will revert to level 1 at 6 a.m. Saturday morning.
That sounds like a good. I like that one. Yeah. Okay, everyone, have a good weekend. Pick plenty winners, and we'll catch up with you next week.